These might be the best value legacy lightsabers Disney has ever made. 2 screen-accurate Ahsoka Tano lightsabers. By my count, there's approximately 50 legacy lightsabers in the collection and only 4 that change colors. Welcome to Lightsaber Life, where I review high-end lightsabers like NeoPixels and Profis, and retail lightsabers like Disney and the Black Series, and everything in between. I give you my assessment so you can decide where to spend your hard-earned money. The case these sabers come in is standard legacy affair, a little bit bigger box than normal. On here we've got a logo that is symbolic of Ahsoka and the Togruta people, and inside are 2 hilts. You also get the standard Disney blade plugs. For legacy lightsabers, there's 3 priorities on my list when it comes to deciding which one I'm gonna get next. More on those in a second. Let's break these down first. First, we've got the regular size hilt. This is Ahsoka's default lightsaber. So you can see a little bit of shine to this lightsaber, but I don't worry about fingerprints with it like I do some of the other lightsabers in the collection. Here, a fair amount of sound ventilation on the pommel, and here's where we get to our battery pack. And these take regular alkaline batteries, no charging here. Here we've got our CoverTech belt clip, so you can hang that on your waist if you want to cosplay. Detail that is accurate from the lightsaber that we see in the Clone Wars. Love the ignition here, slides right up. That's how you ignite the lightsaber. I think they've got the color right there. Up top, we see some details around the emitter that are reminiscent of Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka's master's lightsaber. My first priority is screen accuracy. And I gotta say, Disney did an amazing job bringing this one to life. In particular, because it had not appeared in live action until the flashback in the Ahsoka series. So this was really only in animated form. This looks like a legit real lightsaber. A good contrast is the Black Series Sabine lightsaber, which is from the Ahsoka live action show, but just feels a little bit cartoony to me in some ways. Second of all, how does it look on display? This is what it looks like on my wall, and I gotta say, it is perfect. Another big deal to me is wherever possible, I want my lightsaber to have accurate buttons. This one is how you ignite it, like I mentioned before. Obviously, I'd prefer to just press this button, but this is okay. This is not a manufactured or additional button. So just sliding it up like that is how you do it, and that is how you would see it on screen. And second of all, we've got our smaller hilt, or our Shoto blade. Just for size comparison there, you can see just a little bit smaller. Again, they really got everything right with this one. I'm really impressed with it. It's an amazing complementary piece to the first hilt. Very similar details all the way through. If I have one gripe about this lightsaber, this is the ignition right here. That's how you slide it up. It is a little bit difficult to do. On the flip side is the button for how we change colors. More on that in a moment. All in all, a very impressive version of this lightsaber. I also wanted to quickly point out the design inspiration that we see from Anakin Skywalker, which makes sense. Right there, we've got Anakin's kind of eye. That is the same color. This lightsaber, by the way, is from Sabers. We've got the control box here. Typically, we'd have that, but this is a special edition Anakin. And then the ears. Right up top there on Anakin's, they're both together. On Ahsoka's, they are split apart. And I also want to point out this Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is also from Sabers. We see the emitter and some more influence there, which is so endearing that is written into the show, that Ahsoka would find inspiration from 2 of the greatest Jedi who ever lived. Another lightsaber I want to compare to this one is a legacy lightsaber I reviewed last week. This is the Anakin Skywalker Padawan lightsaber from Attack of the Clones. It's a good comp for a few reasons. First of all, if you like the accuracy and feel of the Anakin one, you are absolutely going to like the same for the Ahsoka Clone Wars lightsabers. Same quality, but essentially you get 2 of these for the price of 1. And by the way, not every company sells both. Sometimes they sell the Ahsoka lightsaber separately or not at all. Looking at you, Black Series. The size is very comparable. The Anakin is just slightly thinner. I'll show you what both of these lightsabers look like lit up together in just a moment, but first, our main hilt. Let's light it up. That is a good balance. This is a hilt you can totally swing around. It's tough because of the control box and kind of the belt clip here, as well as this. This is not a button, this is just for design. It's a little thicker than the Anakin lightsaber, but it works out. The other thing I should mention is this is how Ahsoka holds the lightsaber. So here you're only really running into this, but the good news is you can hit that and nothing is affected because it's just for display. Sound is very quiet on these. I'd like to hear something louder. Very sensitive for a legacy lightsaber, but it doesn't have anything like smooth swing, which is something you'd see on a higher end NeoPixel lightsaber. Volume aside, these lightsabers have some of the best sound quality on any lightsaber that you find in the Legacy collection. And if you want to change it, what you're gonna do is hold this button right here. And after an eternity, we get the blue blade of Ahsoka that we see in season 7 of the Clone Wars. Very cool. I love the color pitch on these. Again, not the most vibrant, but we know what we're getting into when we get a legacy lightsaber. One detail that I want to point out that I think is truly underrated about these lightsabers is not only do all of the legacy lightsabers have a unique sound, which makes sense according to the hilt, Ahsoka's change based on the color. Her blue ones had a slightly different ignition and hum sound in that 7th season. Let's go to the blue one. Here's ignition. If you notice, the hum there is very close to what her white lightsabers sound like in Rebels and the Ahsoka show. Almost a blend between Anakin Skywalker's and hers. And then that twirl there is reminiscent of when she fights Darth Maul in that season 7. Now, you gotta change the color while they're on, so we'll change back to green here. And let's hear the ignition, very much a Luke Skywalker / Yoda lightsaber ignition, which is common of the green lightsabers. Here we go. Got more of a lower purr as opposed to a higher hum. Again, very quiet, but that's okay. We got our flash on clash as well, and that's about it. Now let's light up the Shoto blade. Slightly louder, very tough to hear, but has a little bit of a better sound ventilation. Talk about spinning this thing. The nice thing is there's even less interference on the hilt when it comes to how you grip this. If you want to hold it like Ahsoka, or spin it like a traditional Jedi. Also, of course, the CoverTech belt clip there. Really tough to ignite. I wish it had the control box element like that, but that's okay. Swinging these around, there's good blade depth. These sit deep enough in the hilt where I don't feel like they're wobbling. The Shoto is incredible. It's like an extension of itself. This one is just slightly less impressive. It's got a little wobble in it, but otherwise it's very strong. These are truly impressive lightsabers. Very lightweight. The blade length I recommend for these. For the regular hilt, I recommend a 31-inch Galaxy's Edge blade. For the Shoto, I recommend the 26, which is typically something you would see in like the Darth Maul double-bladed lightsaber or the Cal Kestis, for example. All right, let's do blue on these. That hum, let's go. Let's turn the lights off to see how bright these really are. I'm also gonna show you what a custom blade will do for these. Decent brightness for a legacy lightsaber. A little above average, a little above average. The green looking good, really brightening up the room here. And now I put a custom blade in the regular hilt, and I've got the original legacy blade in the Shoto. Here we go. I love that ignition. Look at this, look how smooth this comes out, ready? Amazing. And here's what the blue looks like. Notable difference. 10 out of 10 on the sound ignition, accuracy, and change between the colors, but the volume is just a little weak. So who is this lightsaber for? If you're an Ahsoka fan, these should absolutely be in your collection. Needless to say, if you collect Disney Legacy lightsabers from Galaxy's Edge, these are also one of the best ones you can buy. If you're like me and you care about screen accuracy, these absolutely should be in your collection. And even if you never light them up, and trust me, those collectors exist, and it's just on your wall, these are about as good as it gets for display pieces. Now you might be asking, should I skip these? Here's who should skip them. If you're looking to duel, no. If you really want to duel with an Ahsoka lightsaber, I've got one that's cheaper and does more, link in the description. If you're looking for some features that are usually found in a NeoPixel lightsaber, you should go for a NeoPixel, or maybe a higher end base lit lightsaber. All in all, this is one of the best sets Disney has ever made. Let's talk cost for a second. Despite the cheaper and cheaper NeoPixel, Profi, and even base lit lightsabers that you find out there, these are still a really strong value. I should mention they don't come with blades. They typically retail for about $249.99 US. I got them on a crazy deal Black Friday 2 years ago. They were $174.99 plus another 20% off. So I got them for a little less than $140 with shipping. Plus this really cool Mickey mug. If you see them on sale and it's tough to find in DisneyStore.com, it is an instant buy. For me, this pair lands safely in my top 5 legacy lightsabers. Between the hilt accuracy, the color change, and the fact that you get not 1, but 2 hilts, these should be on your wish list. If you found value today, why not subscribe to the channel? If you want to hear my recommendation for a cheaper Ahsoka lightsaber that has 27 sound fonts and 12 different colors, that's your video right there. Here's where the fun begins.